All right. I want to welcome everybody to our class tonight. We are so excited that we're going to make candles. And we've got several different containers that we're going to use that just to kind of give some ideas of what you can do to make it fun and cutesy. And Deb is my co-host here. So she's helping me till I get in here. She's helping me teach tonight, and I have to say, like, she brought all these cute little containers. Like, this is just like a coffee mug that says Holly Jolly, and it's so cute because you can actually look around your house and see what you have that you may not be using, and you can like reuse it and repurpose it for something else. So this is like a really cute way, like if you have, I've got tons of hot chocolate mugs because we don't drink coffee, right? So I've got tons of hot chocolate mugs that we just collected over the years, and that's a fun idea to be able to just put, you know, a candle in it and make it something fun, and either use it for myself or give it as a gift, right? As we go into the holidays.
Well, and then also you could, after you're done and you clean it, this is better chicken. In it, actually, if you wanted to keep it.
Yeah, you could reuse it.
Like I put pens and pencils and hair stuff in my
See, repurpose it, right?
A little.
This is really cute. This is just a cute little jar. And in this one, I would probably put 2 wicks to make it so that it would burn better because of how wide it is. But it's so fun to see like this little design underneath of it and the word joy. So that's something fun. Why don't you show that one? That's all cute. Did you just do that up?
Yeah, from some crap I had at home.
Oh, that is so cute.
So,
I was thinking it was this one.
Well, because this was the plain one.
Okay, so show what it was before.
This one was a plain one.
And show the inside. So it's silver on the inside.
Yeah. And so I thought, because I wanted to put ribbons on them, but then I was at the store and I found the silver ribbon, and I found these on one of these sticks that comes in a stick like this.
So you can make it all cute.
Yeah, so you just cut off the trees and the berries and stuff, and then you just cut them off and then you hot glue them on there. But they come like in a little stick like this, all combined.
So depending on how crafty you want to be, like Deb is all crafty and cutesy, I love it. So, but you could also go as simple as buying small jars like these. They're like 4-ounce jars, and they're like perfect for putting 1 wick in it, and as like little neighbor gifts, or doing multiple ones and putting different things in them. So you can go as extravagant. I was even looking online, and they have some silicone molds that you could actually make like some really extravagant little designs and stuff. The only thing is that once you pop those out of the silicone, they're freestanding candles, and if you don't put them in something like this is Deb's, it's a hurricane, and it will catch all of the wax as it melts. Or if you get like a simple, like I have a plate that is for candles, and it's meant to catch all the wax. And so having one of those, if you do like the silicone molds and do it freestanding, so that's a good idea for that.
Yeah, so, and I know this isn't a Christmassy thing, but we're all gonna be probably outside, and like even down here, we still have bugs and stuff. But if you've got even a cute little thing like this, and they hold little tea lights in the bottom. And so you just put the little tea light on this little thing, and you just like put it up there and click it. And I got this one, but I didn't realize it had a lip. So the lip, I cannot put it up there because I got the
Because
one
it
with,
had the flare,
it did,
right?
it had a flare. So you need to get these, that are just straight up and down without the little, like, can you see that, guys? See how it's got that little lip? Anyway, so you can't put it up there. So when you're sitting outside,
But that's such a cute idea because then you could put like the citronella oil
Yes.
in it.
that was.
Because doTERRA has the citronella oil
And that was my thought.
that you could just put in it, and then you have a citronella candle that's gonna burn and
Yeah.
help get rid of, or the Terra Shield, because that's their bug repellent.
Exactly. So I know it wasn't Christmassy, but I didn't have one at home that was kind of Christmassy, but I found these and I was like, I know I can put them in that. Never mind, I can't.
Hey, it's great ideas. I love it. So I saw some containers like these online. They're glass jars and they're super fun. And they have almost like a cork for a lid. And I really I like the ones that don't have the lids, but sometimes when I put out a candle, I like to just put the lid on it and then my house doesn't smell like the smoke. Right? And so having a lid is sometimes really nice. So these are nice because it's just the cork. You get it. Okay.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
And this today, I was just out and about and I was like, you know what? This would make a great candle holder because you could paint it on the outside. Oh, Janelle, let me leave. You can paint a little scene on the outside. And then when the candle is all done, you can put like a little plant in it. And so then they can have a little keepsake. And then I got these too because they're tins, like this one kind of like.
Yeah. So instead of being glass that's thin,
And they were super cheap. I think it was like $3 for all of these. Because they were on sale, 60% off. And I thought what I wanted to do with it is like take some Swarovski beads or something and then make like some crystal Christmas trees or something, and you know, something Christmassy on the end. And you just take them, you can use not a tweezer, but you can get like a long stick and you tap it with like an eraser thing on the end of it.
okay.
And tap it and you pick up the bead and you can just poke it on there. So you draw your design. And I didn't have time when I saw this. I was like, this is a great idea, but there was no time to make one for you. You put it on there and then you just put them on there. Like if you wanted to make a little Christmas tree. So you just make a little Christmas tree, or you could paint it, or you could do lots of things with it.
Well, it's nice, a nice contrast. Oh, sorry. It's a nice contrast, like maybe you want tin instead of glass,
Yes.
right? Because then if they fall, it's not a big deal.
Exactly. And then you can find, like, we all get little things like this from Christmases past. Or you can just go like, we have, what is that store? What is that? Old Time Pottery. We have Old Time Pottery here and you can get like things like this was like $2. You know, this was like $2.
Yeah.
It's really inexpensive there. But you can get little things like this and, you know, people can, when the wax is gone, you can reuse them.
Yeah. So this one was cute. She held it up for just a quick second. It's like a loaf pan, like a bread loaf pan. And it says Merry Christmas on it, but you could put 2 wicks in this one because it's kind of wide, and make that just this cute. And she got this one at Old Time Pottery too. So just make it like this really cute candle that you can just have as part of like your Christmas decorations that you set up. Right?
And then when you're done with it, you put it in a drawer and put stuff in it.
Or you clean it really well and there you go, put your oils in it.
You can put
Repurpose.
oils in it.
Okay, so
And
this
then,
one's really cute. It's all crackly.
and then our last example is my children made this for me so many years ago, you guys, it's ridiculous. But what you do,
Get closer so I can see.
yeah, I'll let you do that, 'cause you're closer to it. So what you do is you get some sand, and we made one, and we're gonna try to do maybe one in a jar, right? And then one
Yeah.
in the sand. So you get some sand, and this was just made from mountain outside sand. Like the kids just went outside, dug a hole, literally dug a hole, and you scoop it out a little bit, you put your driftwood or whatever you want. And then you fill it up with the wax, and then you put your driftwood in there and you wiggle it around and you have to let it cool. But that being said,
And then after it cools, you kind of dig it up, brush off what sand isn't stuck to it. And then you've got this amazing candle that is like a keepsake.
yes, and I've had this for like over 20 years. But so my inspiration for these is this. So I want to put a snowman or one of these Christmas balls. Or those,
Oh,
or like some pine cones.
some snowy pine.
I know, right?
Since we don't get snow.
So we
in
don't get snow.
Florida.
So you, instead of having this driftwood, you would maybe make a little scene of something. So there's so many, you guys, so many things. So that was my inspiration for all of this, because I'm going to make these, and I'm gonna make out of this, and I put this bell on it, so it's gonna be a little bit bigger. But you would need to have a ditch.
It's gonna be fun,
It's gonna be awesome.
but you have to be careful not to let the hole spill in with the wax.
Yes, you need
You
to.
put it on after the wax is cooled.
No, they let it, they dug the hole, and you need to maybe, if your sand is too coarse, basically, you have to fill it in with some water so it doesn't soak in there. But if it's fine sand, you can just put it in, and then when you take it out, the sand comes out with it. So you just let it all cool in there. So you have to just put them all in there and they all melt together.
Nice. Okay, so let's show you the ingredients that we're gonna use tonight. Okay, so I just bought a big box, 5 pounds of beeswax. And this is what it looks like. I bought pellets because pellets are easier to melt. And so we've made chapstick before, and we bought like the big bricks. And then you have to like shave it off or cut it so that it's in chunks so that it melts quicker, because otherwise it takes forever to melt it. So you can do bricks, but just know like you're going to be cutting it into little pieces, or you're going to be like, we used to use a cheese grater and we would grate it so that it would be small enough so that we could get it to melt pretty quickly. So I bought the pellets, and they have white or they have yellow, but I wanted all natural because a lot of times the candles that you get on the market they have toxins in them. And so they put artificial smells in it. And then they also have lead in the wicks. And so we wanted to do something all natural so that when we burn it in our home, it's just like having the diffuser on. And we know that it's not going to be toxic to us breathing it in. Because, I mean, if we think about it, that's what we're trying to do, is go toxin free and cut out as many toxins as we can. But sometimes I miss having candles burning. And it's really cool because when I found these wicks, I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about lead being in a piece of wood. And it supposedly crackles like a fire. And so we're going to see how well that works. But so we're going to use beeswax.
Jamel, I noticed when I was on Amazon that it had soy wax.
Right.
Is it toxic?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just knew that I didn't want soy wax, so I chose beeswax.
Okay.
Wax
Okay.
has a higher melting point, and sometimes you have to like, oh.
They can't hear you.
Soy wax sometimes has a higher melting point, so you have to actually use a hotter wicking system because you can't melt the soy wax without like having like 2 sticks back to back. So you have to have more heat to melt and make the candle actually work. So
Okay.
So that's good to
Awesome.
know.
That's good to know.
Is that what is most commonly used? 4 candles? Is that the candle wax that they talk about, or is that different?
I think it's just an alternative. I
Yeah.
think beeswax, the regular paraffin wax, paraffin is actually seriously the most popular, but then beeswax, and then I think soy wax, just because it can be used, so.
Okay, so then we're also gonna use Holiday Joy and Holiday Peace. And this is like 2 bottles of Christmas combined. So I don't know if we should use both in one candle, or if we should just use one, because I think the one will overpower the other.
Maybe, but what you could do,
Is
you
wait to
wanted to
scent
have
it
both.
until you put it in.
you layer. Remember you were asking me if you should let it like, no,
No.
or like cool off a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
So you could put that one and let it cool off a little bit and then make another batch and put that on top of it. So you would actually have like one coming down and you would have that. And then the next time it goes down to the next level, you would have the other side. You could
That's a good
layer,
idea.
you could layer.
That's a good idea. So, and some of the candles that I was looking at, they actually had where they used like a silicone mold for like a flower or something for the top, and then they just had a round cylinder for the bottom, and they would put in different dyes so that it was a different color and all that kind of stuff. So you can really get cutesy with it if you want that stuff in it. I chose not to do the dye so that it was toxin free. I didn't want any toxins in my candles. So we're going to use the Holiday Joy, and Holiday Joy, it smells very much like the cinnamon pine cones. When you walk into a store and they've got the cinnamon pine cones that they've just taken out of the box and they're really super strong. Because it's got the cinnamon, but then it also has the Christmas tree smell in it. I love
smells
that
so
smell.
good.
I think we'll just.
Can
do
you smell
Holiday
that?
Joy. Yeah, you guys can. Smell
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I have a question. Can you use like blueberries or something like that to color the candle that's natural?
I don't know. I have to do more research on that because I wondered if we could use fruit to color it. But that being said, like dried rose petals, if we wanted to color it, like we could put dried rose petals, or what's that one?
The cornflower.
Cornflower petals, so that it's like a purplish color,
Oh, okay.
right? And then Deb also brought some lavender seeds and stuff like that. So then you can have like fresh lavender. So then as the candle cooks down, you also get the scent of the natural flowers, but they're dried, right? Something else that you can do is add crystals. So these are some rocks, some crystals that I found that like there's some quartz and some amethyst and some just different types of rocks, and you can use those and you can put those in, and those can decorate your candle as well. So then you have, you know, the energy that's being put off by the stones that is also going to add to the ambiance, but also help change the mood and the energy in your home, just like what the essential oil is going to do. Because I know when I put this in the diffuser, and the Holiday Joy is like one of my favorite oils, right? I could use this all year round. So it's one that it really is uplifting, instead of, because sometimes the holidays are stressful, right? And we're a little overwhelmed with everything we've got to do, and we're running here, there, and everywhere. And so sometimes having the smells from the essential oils, they help change your mood. They help you be calm. They help relax you. So then putting it in a candle is going to just add to that. And then adding crystals can add to it and make it all kind of cutesy too.
And then in the summertime, except that, in the summertime, you can go online and they're on Etsy, And there are tons and tons and tons and tons of places that you can get a whole flower, a whole dried flower.
Oh,
So like you could like make something and put like a whole dried flower on the top, or you could put your wax in and then put them onto the side so you can see them. But you just need a tongue depressor, a stick. So you can put like seriously real dried flowers on there.
yeah. So just kind of some fun ideas. And then we're using the wooden wicks, and the wooden wicks actually have a stainless steel base. And so it's gonna sit, and you put it right in the center of the candle, and you put it in first, and then you're supposed to pour the wax all around it. So why don't we get started with melting the wax?
Yes.
Did you want to show this?
Oh, yeah. And you can also just get cute little things to put on top, you know, that just pick things that, you know, don't get it next to the flame because you don't want to burn the house down. But these are like, you guys, these are like so inexpensive. They're like $1. So just cute little things for Christmas. You could put them like on the outside of something. So many things.
Does anybody have any questions before we get started? No?
I'll hold it.
You'll hold the phone?
Yeah.
Hold the phone. Okay.
Why is it on me? Is it on me?
Okay, so using a double boiler, we're going to use a glass measuring cup inside of a pot of boiling water. And you can, and I choose the glass measuring cup because then it's easy to pour out of. And it's like we've done this before where we've made chapstick and stuff, and so it just makes it so much easier to work with. So. I thought about pouring it, but it's my luck, it would end up landing on my stove. So I'm gonna use a measuring cup. To pour it into my measuring. That was pretty funny. You know, I'm gonna use a measuring cup. I'm gonna use a measuring cup to measure from a measuring cup. Absolutely, that's what I said. Okay, so we've got 2 cups. And keep it focused here. Okay. In my family, they love to eat Chinese food, so we always have chopsticks, right? And these are amazing stir sticks. So we're gonna take this. We're just gonna stir. And the reason for the double boiler is it helps make it so that, like, if you put this directly in the pan, it would not do very well directly in the pan. So it works better to do it with a double boiler. I don't know if you've ever tried to melt chocolate, but it's kind of the same thing as melting chocolate. You use a double boiler, it makes it so that it melts evenly, makes it so that it doesn't burn, makes it so that it works out really well. Does that make sense? Can you guys hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I have this on a medium heat also, so that it's not heating too fast. So you can see the bubbling in the water. But it's not on high, because then it would be boiling up over the measuring cup. And then it would be putting off so much steam that my hands would be getting burned. You want to make sure to dig all the way down. The stuff on the bottom is melting already. So let's do the loaf pan. So we're gonna do one of the loaf pans, and then we're also gonna do one of the simple jars. So depending on how far this will go, right? So you wanna melt all of your beeswax before you do anything else.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's nothing, should have shown that can for this one. In case you
Sure.
don't do that.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so here, oh, I need to go away. Here is, so Janelle had this little tin. Jamel has this little tin already here. And I went and got some sand, just regular little sand out of Braden's sandbox out in the backyard. So what you would do is just add a little bit of moisture and dig a hole. But you want to make sure that, you know, there's sand on the bottom. So however big you need it. So you would just dig your hole, and then you would add your decoration. I think it needed to be a little fuller. So then you add your decoration, and then you pour the wax in. And then just put it aside until it's dry.
so if you wanted to add like a few pine cones, and you wanted that to be your base.
Oh, and don't forget the wick. Yes, you have to add the wick.
Oh, yeah.
The wick would go in the bottom. So,
Thanks, Pepper.
where did it go to now? Oh. Maybe we could still them to build it.
Okay, so these are really cool. So you get a piece of wood, and it literally just slides right down. Let's see. See if I can get this one to work. There's a little stuck. So it just slides right down inside of it. You even it up. Then you've got your wick already. And then you can take it and put it right there. Do you dig it down a little?
I would be all the way to the bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
You think the wax is gonna go all the way through?
There's a solution over there. You don't want, like, you don't want it to be like too big. What I meant by not having too much, you guys, was really just being able to have a bigger base, like for the candle, like if there was more sand, it would be up higher. But you want this part to be down close to the bottom so that you can put your wick in there. Does that make sense, you guys?
Any questions so far?
No, I really like the sand idea. I never even thought about that.
It turns out really, really cute. Your first one, you promise you probably won't like, but then you figure out the little. Because you'll figure out the little like the little tiny things that you have to do to like make it totally work.
Yeah.
But it is so cool, you guys. It is so cool.
Wow.
So the wax is kind of clumping together because it's starting to melt. And then at the bottom, we've got more of the liquid. So I wish I could say the wax melts quickly, but it's quicker than it would if it was a brick. Usually, like when we make the chapstick, we always take turns because it takes a little bit of time to get the wax to melt. I can do that right next to- So I have this cool little, it's almost like a teapot, but it just has its own burner. And it heats up water really super quickly. So we're wanting to put a little bit more water around the edges of the beeswax, just so that up higher in the measuring cup, it will melt the stuff that's up higher as well at a quicker pace. Yeah, I love it because I don't have to put it on the stove. It just sits on the counter and it literally takes less than 2 minutes to boil water and heat it up so I can make tea. And my favorite tea is using 1 or 2 drops of essential oil in the cup with a little bit of honey. And like I've been sick this past week. I've had a kind of a cold and I've been using tangerine. I'm putting the tangerine oil and I've been doing 3 drops of tangerine, a little bit of honey, and then adding this hot water. And it's like amazing for helping soothe your throat and helping you be able to get better a lot quicker. So it's kind of fun. So we'll let that heat up. Looking good. We do need some more water. Yeah, so I can. No, it's fine. You did great. Can you see that? We've got beeswax right there in the corner. Like we're little honeybees working the beeswax.
Jamel, with
Yeah.
these ingredients that you guys are getting and things, we do probably need to be careful about what we're trying to order and from where, correct? You don't want to just pick any beeswax or just anything. You need to be careful about what it says, correct?
Right, and so that's one of the things, like if you're really looking for toxic free stuff, a lot of times I would order my beeswax from Aroma Tools. And Aroma Tools, their beeswax, they no longer sell it in the big bags and they only sell it in 1 pound containers. So I was really bummed, but probably one of the best ways to get it is if you know someone who has beehives and you can get it straight from them. That is a really cool way to get it. But then you know the source, right? But just being able to get it from, you know, somewhere reputable and just kind of doing a little bit of research on that, on who good, you know, good companies are and stuff like that would be important.
Definitely.
Right. Okay. So they actually, in the instructions with these wicks, it actually says to cut or to soak them in the oil before you pour the, not in the oil, in the wax, to soak them in the wax before you make the candle. Because then it makes it so that the wick burns at a slower rate and it makes it so that it burns better with these wooden wicks. So I don't know if you knew that, if you looked at that online. So we're gonna, okay. So the other thing is the kit that I bought, it came with these really cool trimmers for being able to cut the wicks. So we're gonna put the wick together. And you want it a little bit above your candle. Right, Deb?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm gonna take my thing, and it's nice because it's just like having scissors. And then look, because I trimmed it ahead of time, now it's like I have another wick that I can use with that same one. And it's almost the same size, right? And I could even leave that one a little bit longer. So then, that's how long it is. Okay, so it's not too long. And after we pour it in, we might need to make it a little bit shorter, or we could just burn it and let it burn down to the candle and then let it go from there. And it looks like Deb's making some great progress with melting the wax.
It is getting melted.
Okay, so we're gonna do this Merry Christmas one, right?
Okay, perfect, yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna be the other one that we do. And I'm gonna be able to use that wick that I just cut in this pan. So I'm gonna grab another base and put that in. And then I wanted to see how well the wood would burn. So I was testing it the other day, right, without anything on it, and it burned pretty well, burned pretty quickly. So it'll be nice if we coat it in the wax to make it so that it doesn't burn too quickly, and that it, you know, can make sure that it is actually productive in your candle.
We are.
Are we?
We are.
Okay.
Let me turn the water down a little
Okay, so now we've got 3 wicks, 2 in this one, and they're a little bit higher than it, but we can trim it once we're done with it.
bit. That one you might have to place.
And then this one, which one?
The one in the little jar that keeps falling, and things are bad.
It's fine.
I'll hold them when you're done.
Yeah, it'll be fine once it gets the stuff in there. Okay, so we're supposed to soak these. Grab them.
Does it say how long you soak the wicks?
It says to soak them for 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, surprisingly, I was like, really? You've got to soak them for that long? And because if you take it off the heat and soak them, then you're gonna start hardening, like it's gonna start
Right.
hardening in your measuring cup. So I was like,
Right.
I don't think that's gonna work. So we left it in the boiler so that
Yep.
it's soaking in the boiler. And then it's gonna make it so that I'll use a set of metal tongs to be able to take them out, and then I'll place them in the pan. And it'll have wax on the bases, so that when we set them down, the wax that's on those bases will also help it
Yeah.
be able to stand in place where we need it to stand.
Right, right. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And now I used candles with wood burning wicks, and they do crackle, and it is really cool to have it. It's awesome.
I have never used them, so that's good to hear.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
excited about this.
When these come out, we put in
The scent?
yeah.
We didn't forget. So that's the other thing. You put the essential oil in when you take it off the heat. You don't put it in before because then it cooks off. So you want to put it in. So we'll remove it and we'll bring it over here so it's closer to where we're going to pour, or we'll move this stuff over there. But we'll pour this in after we remove it from the heat, because then the scent isn't going to get cooked off. But also, we're going to put the scent in while the wicks are in there. So it's going to get the scent on the wicks too. Because that's going to help make it so that you get more of that, the smell that you want permeating throughout your whole house, right? How's it looking?
They're looking good. They're really good. They're in there, I'm holding them down. They don't want to be.
So we'll just wait a few more minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna start picking out, let's see, in this one, should we put rose?
Sure, yeah.
The rose petals? So I'm gonna open this up and get it a little bit ready. And I think we're gonna wait to put them in until after everything else is in. So that it's basically, we're gonna sprinkle it down and sprinkle it on top. And then it will, some of them may sink, but then some of them may sit on the top. Right? And then I think in this jar, I'm gonna put some amethyst stones. And those are gonna go in the bottom because they're gonna sink anyways. They're rocks. They are gonna sink anyways. There's some pretty big pieces of amethyst, so it's kind of fun. So I don't know if you can see the amethyst. I'm just kind of spreading it out. Here, do it this way. Yeah. So just kind of spread them out. So they're not layered, it's just one flat layer. So that'll be cute when it's all done. All right. Should we pour them over there or over here? Okay. Okay, so we're bringing Holiday Joy. We're bringing. That's okay. Okay, so we're gonna. Get that. We're gonna grab rose. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this out. Oh, it won't put the counter. So I have marble counters. If you have Formica counters, you want to set this on something. I was getting all excited. Yeah, so it's all good. Okay, so we're gonna grab. There we go.
Do you add your oil?
No. Good job. Way to go.
Everybody needs a backseat driver every day, all day.
I love that. Well, do you know how many times I've done chapstick and I've gotten it off, and even in the tubes and I've forgotten it?
How many drops are you using?
Till it
20.
smells good. Until
I
I
know
can
you-
smell it, until you can smell it.
I know.
Until you can smell it. I love it. Jamel never counts them.
I probably just did 30 or 35 drops right then.
Okay, cool.
Oh, see my tongs? The wax is already starting to harden. So we gotta hurry get these in the pan. Let me see. I'm sorry. Perfect.
All in my business.
No, you're good. And that is a little warm. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna move it this way a little bit. See how it made it so that that just stuck right to the edges. See, 2 cups wasn't quite enough to fill that loaf pan and the small jar, but I'll bet if we would have just done the loaf pan, that it all would have fit and it would have filled it to the top.
But we can make another batch, and put other stuff on top of it and make a layer on it.
You want to do a little bit more? Okay. All right, so if you look, like this is already starting to harden. Like you can see the color changing around the edges.
Not to be a backseat driver again, but you better hurry and put the rose petals.
Oh, you're awesome. Okay, hold that.
I love it with Jim, not Linda, Lindell. You need to be, you are excellent.
See how cute this is?
I like the little loaf pan. That is kind of a cute idea. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those that you can like, so you can use your chopstick and you can push some of them down. So maybe some of them go deeper in layers.
And then if you were gonna like use a pine cone or something on it, you have to let it set for a little while because the pine cone will go
Right to
too
the
far
bottom.
out, yeah. It needs a little bit of solidity for it.
Yeah, but now we've got it. Some at the top, some in layers. I love the smell.
Can you guys smell that? It smells so good.
So I'm gonna bring this over here. So it looks so cool. Hold it up like this. Can you see the bottom? So it's got the stones in there. And you really could wait until this solidifies some to be able to put the stones in there. And then you could have the stones at different layers too, if you really wanted to do that. And then you could wait and put some at the top to make it so that it, you have a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom. And that way they don't just sink, right? So this is starting to
Cool.
solidify around the edges too. Does anyone have any questions?
Way cool.
I'm super excited to try these out. I wish that they would harden right now.
Freezer.
It's actually not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
it may cost a job. Maybe two.
Oh,
Sorry.
logistics, I swear.
Just saying.
No, you're
I
right.
think I've done it before.
You've done it before?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It
So
causes what?
Don't put them in the freezer so that they harden quicker if you're impatient, is what
What
Deb
does
is
it do?
telling me.
What does
will-
it do?
It will crack the jar.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like when you take a
Yeah.
something hot and put it on something cold, it like will make it shatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
You get this effect.
yeah. Yeah. And you may not like it. And you might have like chunks all over your freezer, right? Depending on how much it shatters. So. So I see,
So what do you do with them, Jamel? I didn't hear. Do you just leave them out at room
Yes.
temperature?
yes, so you leave them out, they're already starting, like if you look, this candle is already starting to harden around the edges, you can see the white. So this candle will probably set up in the next hour or so. And it's gonna make it so that I could potentially use this later on tonight if I really wanted to. And that's the cool thing about using beeswax is it hardens, it re-hardens super quick. So look at this one. You can see right around the edges where it's starting to harden. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have to let you know what
Jamel will take pictures of it and post them on Facebook.
okay, I will do that because we're going to share this video and then I'll put it in the news feed in our group. So that way
Yeah, I wanna
everybody will get to see it.
You better do a video because I want to see it crackle and all that stuff when you light it.
Ooh,
Okay, I can do that.
that's a great idea.
Deb's like, man, I'm gonna miss it.
I know.
I would send this one home with you, but
No,
it
you
might
need to-
spill in your car.
Yeah, no, you need to keep it.
So it's already set up enough that you can't move the wick.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. No, look. Let's make this easy. So the wicks are not moving.
I'm pulling.
So soaking them in the wax before you put them in the container, it really did help make it so that it's set up so that I wasn't worried about it falling over as I'm pouring the wax into the container. Right? And so it made it so that it just it literally is like putting glue on the bottom of it so that it just sets right where you want it to, and then it just doesn't move. Does anybody have any questions?
I do, Jamel.
Okay,
Couple of things I missed. The little stick you used to stir it, was that silicone?
no, it was a chopstick.
Oh, it was a chopstick. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we found a few years ago when we were making, when I was making chapstick, that we could put all the ingredients in the double boiler and mix it with a chopstick. And it's super easy cleanup. Then you don't get all of your stuff damaged or ruined. And like if you ruin a chopstick, it's not a big deal, right?
Is it a wooden chopstick?
Uh-huh,
Just your basic? Okay.
yeah.
Or tons of like popsicle sticks. even.
Popsicle sticks would work, tongue
Oh.
depressors would work, like,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
anything that's gonna help, and a tongue depressor is a little bit thicker, so it might help with like stirring.
Sure.
The chopstick is like super slender, and so it doesn't have, like, it takes a little bit longer and it's a little bit harder to get it to stir.
Sure.
So if you had popsicle sticks, it might be a little bit easier.
And then your little rose pieces. Do you
Uh-huh.
get all that at like Michael's or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Or you can get them online, but you have to be careful, like you can get them from Etsy. I saw lots of people on Etsy, but you want to be careful because, and really look at the pictures, because when I was looking, because I was thinking that we were gonna get some, but maybe in the springtime, we can do it again. But you have to be careful because some of them are not true dried flowers. They were like, I don't know, they were something, but they weren't real.
Okay.
Well, and
okay.
you have Hobby Lobby
Uh-huh,
there in
Mhm.
Utah, like, you
Yep.
can get it from Hobby Lobby.
okay,
They're gonna
Okay.
have a lot of that stuff too, and Hobby Lobby might be cheaper than Michael's or Joann's.
okay.
Then on Etsy, it was like $20 and you could get 8 little bags of flower, dried flowers
Oh,
for like $8.
Yeah,
The
but
real
you just wanna make
flowers, yeah.
sure, yeah, you just wanna make sure that it's, and that's one thing, like if you're in the store, it's sometimes a little bit easier. And I think
Right.
even Hobby Lobby, like they sell the wax and for candle making and stuff, but you gotta look at what type of wax you're getting, because they'll just say candle wax,
Oh,
but you wanna look at what type of wax it is.
natural
And-
beeswax.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Because otherwise you might have to put in like 2 or 3 wicks just to get enough heat for it to burn.
Oh,
The soy.
Yeah, like with the soy and stuff like that. So, and I lost my train of thought. So the beeswax, yeah, it comes in like by the pound. Oh, some of it is white and some of it is yellow. So sometimes you can look at it and say, okay, I want the yellow beeswax, and that might be more natural and more pure because I think beeswax is naturally yellow, right?
rather than white, huh?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I don't know what the process is for it to go the white.
That's a good question.
I think I bought the yellow.
I think you got white. Look, it's turning white.
I don't know. Let me see. I did get white. So 100% pure organic, cosmetic grade, filtered grade A pellets. Well, in this one, it says it's for lotion or for candles or for lip balm. So then you know that you're getting better quality because people are going to be putting it on their skin, right? They're going to be putting it on their lips or on their skin. So you want to make sure that it's not, you know, synthetic or
Yeah.
that it doesn't have anything in it. So this one's doing really good. It's like almost hardened. It's really good. So fun. So we know we're at the hour, so if anybody needs to jump off, you totally can. Does anyone have any questions or comments or?
Yeah, I had another one, but I can't think of it. So I'll have to text you if I think of it.
Okay,
funny.
okay, that sounds good.
Thank you. This has been really cool.
Yeah, well, and like we put the ingredients, it's super, super easy. It's literally beeswax, a
Right.
container, essential oils, the wick, and just like even simple jars.
And the simple.
Oh, I know
jars
what
are
it was, Jamel.
Yeah.
When you put the pellets, the beeswax pellets in your measuring cup, did you put a certain amount or it doesn't really matter?
So I measured out 2 cups
Two?
of pellets.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used a dry measuring cup, not a liquid one. So I
Mhm.
just used a regular measuring cup like this
Okay.
to measure out the 2 cups. Because
Mhm.
I thought about dumping it and I was like, I'm gonna dump this and it's gonna go all over my stove.
Yeah.
So I measured it out and made it so that I wasn't dumping it everywhere.
Okay.
But you can
Okay.
even measure it and have it on your counter and then already have it in the glass measuring cup before you put it in the water.
Okay.
Cause you can totally do that too. But 2 cups basically got us these 2 candles, and
Looks
Right.
almost full.
it's halfway. It's about 3/4.
Yeah,
So,
so here's how big it is.
but going forward, I'm gonna know that 2 cups, like,
Would
If-
build this.
it would have probably filled this one if we wouldn't have done 2 different ones. But also, like, if I wanted to do several, I'm gonna do more than the 2 cups, or I'm gonna do 2 cups, and I'm gonna do more of like the same size.
Because
So they-
normally would you have made this in the loaf pan a little higher as far as
Yes.
the wax?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
But you could still add to it, like we can go back and add more
Oh, yeah, huh?
wax.
so
That's
once
what
it's
you're talking
hardened,
about putting a different scent in the second layer or something if you wanted to.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Absolutely. So we could totally fill it up, and I would probably fill it up to about here.
Okay,
So it's just like a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch below the rim. So,
but you only want the wick to be about a 1/2 inch above the wax, right?
right, so I will even trim this wick down
Okay.
so that, or I might light it and just let it burn down.
Oh, yeah,
Because it doesn't have, like, it doesn't have any lead or anything in it.
mhm,
So I don't think it would be a problem to just light it and let it burn down.
yeah, yeah.
And then we get the real like crackling and popping, like what Zoa was telling us that we're gonna get. That's so exciting,
Yeah,
because I don't have a fireplace, right? So that's gonna be like my fireplace.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to get a bunch of candles and line them up. And
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Listen
my
to all the
fireplace
crackle,
for
yeah.
Christmas.
Well, I gotta go. Thank you.
You're
You guys
welcome.
rock.
Thanks, Gail.
Okay, we'll see you
Yep.
next week.
Happy,
All
happy,
right.
happy birthday, Gail.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
Happy
Gail.
birthday, Gail.
Happy birthday, Gail.
You. What she's what?
Happy birthday.
Somebody- I know you turned old today.
No,
No.
you turn young today.
Well, you just gotta keep moving and keep learning, don't you?
That's right. That's what
Yep.
keeps you young.
Thanks, you guys.
Love you.
All right.
All right, love you
See ya.
guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Are you going too, Zoa?
Yeah, I gotta get some sleep.
Okay.
I know, it's already after 9.
All right, you guys, you take care. Love you.
Love
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Get some rest.
I will.
Bye,
Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Recording.
Bye.